Hey guys, it's been a while since my last game review, and I've actually been wanting to do a comparison video of two of my favorite NES games, The Legend of Zelda and Willow. Both of these games are somewhat similar to one another, so I was wondering which one is arguably the better of the two games. It's Zelda. You probably wanted something a little bit more than that, didn't you? Alright, well let's do an actual side-by-side comparison and see which one is arguably the better game. So let's start with the story. Both games actually start off relatively similar. You boot up the title screen, you wait a little bit, you get the prologue of the story, and then you're dropped into the world. The story of Zelda is relatively simple. Ganon steals the Triforce of Power and eventually kidnaps Princess Zelda. Zelda sends Impa to try and find a hero to help defeat Ganon. Eventually, you start your journey, you help collect the pieces of the Triforce, defeat Ganon, and rescue Princess Zelda. That's essentially the story in a nutshell. Willow has a bit of a larger story that you get to follow throughout the course of the game. In the movie, Elora Danon's birth is what is the chain of events that leads into Queen Bavmorda dying, whereas in the game, it's prophesied that Willow is the one to do it. Both of these games' stories are decent, but we're going to talk about the aspect that makes them really stand out, and that's their gameplay. In Zelda, once you're given the story, you get to go around stabbing bad guys, exploring dungeons, collecting weapons and items, and just getting to experience the world like a true adventure game. Willow is a bit more straightforward. Unlike Zelda, you follow the story along, taking on bad guys and getting to see the world. There really is a difference though. Whereas Willow, you kind of get to see the world and see how great it looks. Zelda, you experience the world. You have to go around and actually find everything yourself. In Zelda, it seems like you have a limited supply of weapons, but in ways it makes it more fun. Each one allows you to explore the world in new ways, and you have to try and maximize it and use all the skill you acquire throughout the game to beat it. Whereas in other games, you gain more experience points to try and get stronger or just find some sort of really strong magic spell. In Willow, it's an RPG game where you gain experience points to level up. So in ways, it's less rewarding because you don't feel it's all about skill. Sometimes if you just level up enough, you're strong enough to take down the enemies. One thing I do enjoy though, is that there's far more weapons, shields, and magic to collect, which gives you some variety. The fun thing about this game as well is that you don't need every item to beat the game, same with every spell, so it's really a matter of how deep you want to dig in order to find everything. In both games you have the ability to fast travel as well. Zelda, you use the flute to ride the tornado to the entrance of different dungeons, and in Willow you use the flute to call Poe, so he can take you to different key locations. Last is the loading portion. Zelda and Willow are both good in their own ways, but I think I like Zelda a little better for this. You either get good or you quit. Since it's battery back save, if you can't figure out where to go, you either explore or just stop playing. Willow uses the password system, so if you're struggling with an area, you can just skip ahead. It's a little less rewarding, but it also makes it so if you want to enjoy the game more, you have that ability. When it comes to graphics, there is no contest. Willow is superior. This is sort of an uphill battle for the original Zelda game. Willow came out years afterwards, so it took advantage of features that the first Zelda game could only dream of. There was so much detail, transparent water, cool magic, and a pretty good color palette which made every environment feel a little bit different. Again, this really is an uphill battle for Zelda. This game came out years before Willow did and showed us what the system could do, and Willow took it and ran with it and gave us what are arguably some of the best graphics on the system. Last, we're going to discuss the music, and this is going to be the uphill battle for Willow. How do you compete with one of the most iconic music tracks in all of gaming? When it comes to music, age plays no factor. Willow definitely has more variety in its music, but Zelda's feels far more memorable. Honestly, both games have great music, so it's really something that you just have to experience for yourself to find out whether you think one is better than the other. conclusion, both games hold up extremely well even today. They're timeless classics, and if you have the chance to grab them, I'd say play both of them so you can draw your own opinion. Zelda, I would say, overall is a better adventure game, and Willow is overall a better RPG. So I just want to thank everyone for sticking around to the end on my first video back in quite some time. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. If so, hit like. You can leave a comment down below if you have any questions. You can also email me. And for future videos, you could subscribe to the Baggity. That'd be swaggity. Anyways, I want to thank everyone again for watching, and we'll hopefully see you next time.